Assalamu alaikum, dear friends. How are you? I welcome you here on my training channel. My name is Abdul Khalik. Dear friends, look, many of us are a bit ambitious people. We want to produce better results. We want to give more productivity. We want to work efficiently. That is something, that is a kind of requirement needed by most of the important people, most of the effective people. So, my dear friends and fellows, so that is the topic of our discussion, and certain very important tips are going to be shared here, today. So these are very important, very useful, time tested and tried and tested. Let's look upon all of these one by one. First of all, it is set clear goals, clarity of goals, clarity on the one hand, achievability and attainability on the other hand. We have to be practical enough. We have to be realistic enough, and for that purpose, we need to set the attainable, achievable goals, and these goals are really very important. Clarity on the one hand, attainability, achievability, doability real on the other hand. So then we have to prioritize it. Everything else which has been enlisted, which is there on the to-do list, it is not equally important. So we have to decide this is the most important, this is the second most important, the third most important, the fourth important, etc. etc. So that is the number one thing to be taken care of. Now the number two thing is, the second thing is, create a schedule. That is creation of the schedule. Plan your day, including breaks and leisure time. We have to plan and we have to schedule the day, that I have to do this thing at this time, this thing at that time. This is the timing of that particular task. While we are scheduling, we must remember that there should be certain breaks in it as well, and there must be the leisure time in this as well. So that is all called scheduling. So that is the second thing to be taken care of. Now the third is, eliminate distractions. Eliminate distractions. Minimize interruptions. Turn off notifications and find a quiet workplace. We have to be at a quiet workplace where there is little or no interruption, and we don't have to sit and work as somewhere else where there is a lot of interruption. Either this interruption is a physical one, or it is by our smartphone. In both of these cases, we need to avoid it. So that will be, then only we will be able to concentrate, and then only we will be able to focus upon our work. We have to avoid the physical interruptions. We have to avoid the interruptions and the distractions caused by our smartphone. So that is the number three tip. And the fourth is, use the Pomodoro technique. What is this Pomodoro technique? Work in focused 25 minutes increments, followed by 5 to 10 minutes of rest, breaks, slightly away from the workplace. Now it is the Pomodoro technique says that 25 minutes of the focused work is needed, and focused work for 25 minutes, followed by at least 5 to 10 minutes of the break. And it is preferred that you are taking the break slightly away from your seat. So that is the Pomodoro technique. But remember that these 5 to 10 minutes of the break, it is, sometime it is not enough, and we need a reasonably good amount of the leisure time. But Pomodoro technique says that every 25 minutes of the focused work must be followed by 5 to 10 minutes of the break, but preferably this break should be slightly away from your seat. Now that the fifth is, recharge with regular breaks to avoid the burnout. In many of the cases, there are good number of people who have done a lot of work, but only after some of the time they have lost all of their efficacy, and they are not seen either motivated enough. But even if at all they are motivated, they are unable to produce what need to be produced. The reason is that they have suffered burnout, the suffering of the burnout, because they could not they could not maintain a balance between their work life, their private life, their work, their rest. They could not strike a balance. So that is the reason they kept working for the longer hours without the good amount of breaks, without the leisure time, without the recreation, without the other human needs. So that is something which we need to keep in the mind, that I have to avoid the burnout for the purpose of for the purpose I have to enjoy the breaks in the work on the one hand, and a reasonably good amount of the leisure time on the other hand. Now the sixth is stay organized. Keep track of the task and deadline. Keep track of the tasks and the deadline with a planner, with a smartphone app, or with a tool. There are certain apps available, certain applications available on our smartphone as well, which are helping us in this regard, in keeping us organized. We need to stay organized. We need to keep track of the tasks on the one hand, and then of course we need to keep an eye on the deadline of each of the item. There must be a deadline, because it must be attained within a certain amount of time. So that is called the deadline. Now the seventh is practice mindfulness, because regular mindfulness exercises can improve concentration and reduce mind wandering. Another very common trouble with those people who want to work better, want to work more effectively, they say that my mind keep wandering. I need to do something. For those all people, I think what is very effective, what is very much useful and beneficial here, that is the mindful exercises. There is a separate video, there is a separate talk of mine. Rather, there is going to be another one on the mindfulness exercises, but at the moment we cannot go into the details of that, because we will not be able to cover the topic of today. So that is, we need to practice the mindful exercises. Regular mindfulness exercises can improve concentration and reduce mind wandering. Now the eighth tip is limit multitasking. Focus on a single task at a time for better quality and efficiency. That is, focus on a single task at a time for better quality and efficiency. Multitasking, our brain is not wired for that at all. So unless and until there are certain things which are very simple in nature, I think we should avoid the multitasking. And then we need to focus, we need to concentrate upon one single item at a time. So that is limit multitasking. Now the ninth is get enough sleep. Enough sleep is essential for cognitive function and focus. For the better cognitive function and the focus, as enough amount of quality sleep is needed. I think that an average person needs 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep every night, and there should be a time to sleep, and preferably we should go to the bed early. It is a very centuries old proverb which goes that early to bed, early to rise makes the man healthy, wealthy, and wise. So that is quality sleep. Now the 10th and the last is stay hydrated and energized. Drink plenty of water and eat nutritious food to maintain energy level. Eating of nutritious food to maintain a good energy level, because the success is the product of energy. So my dear friends and fellows, we need to drink plenty of water on the one hand. but on the other hand, the fast food should be avoided, the trendy should be avoided, the junk food should be avoided. Whatever is good for the health should be preferred for the purpose of eating. We need to provide ourselves with the nutritious food on the one hand and plenty of water on the other hand, so that it should keep us energized. Remember, the bottom line is everyone's productivity style is unique. Everyone's productivity style is unique, so experiment to find out what works best for you. Today it was quite a good discussion on how can we improve our efficiency, our productivity by staying focused, by staying organized. So that's all from me today.